So, as you know, we've been involved with a business case for reinstating passenger rail connecting Toronto to the north. And we had done a test train from the north to North Bay on our track back in March, which was really successful, proved that our track infrastructure is ready to have the train be reinstated. And the next part of that was confirming the infrastructure from North Bay to Union Station, which is CN track. And so that day was a proud moment for us. It was twofold, right? The first step was making sure that we got the data that we needed to prove the transit time and confirm what the infrastructure looked like. There's been changes over the last decade since the train ran, and we wanted to make sure that we understood what was required so that we could put that data into the updated business case that we've been working on with Metrolinx. Mm-hmm. And so it was very successful from that point of view to test the infrastructure. But also for us, a very proud day because we got to spend a lot of time with you, Mayor, and several other mayors. A couple of ministers were on the train with us. We met Minister Mulroney when we got into Union Station, who has been a huge supporter of this planning process to look at the reinstatement of passenger rail. So I think for us, it was showing what the service would actually look like and allowing mayors such as yourself to really vision what this will do for tourism and how it will connect people to medical appointments and just feel what the train service might look like. And so it was a success all around. And just seeing the comments on social media about what it means to people to have that connection. Rail is a very interesting thing around the world. People love it. And it really is important to Northern Ontario. I believe that. I know you did. We had some wonderful conversations on that day on the train. And I love to hear the feedback from municipalities because that's where the impact is going to be, especially in your region.
I know you mentioned it, but it's been the time thing. I mean, what trains aren't going to work because they're never on time.
Right.
And to hear her convincing that she's going to be on time, because that will be a big part of that. If you want to plan, you got to plan to go to the city. I mean, and she mentions like medical appointments, so she's trying to get you there on a time.
Yeah.
And if she can do that, pull that off. I mean, so she's obviously a very accomplished woman.
She is, and certainly the rest of their staff that I met on the test train when we went down are so dedicated. They're so keen about getting this thing off the ground, and they've done a lot of work with Metrolinx and with the province MTO to get. So if it doesn't go, it won't be because of the efforts Ontario Northland has put into this, because they've been unbelievable to try to get this off the ground. I mean, during COVID, even though we weren't dictating procedures and policies, the province was, or the federal government was. Inevitably, councillors and mayor got all the complaints, because it's, to Kayla's point, we're grassroots and people go to those people first, and that's why it's so critical to get out and vote. And the other part of it, about the voting part, is the impact on district council, because they do vote on district councillors as well. And, they play a big role in water and sewer and garbage collection and all those kinds of things, Bob. So to Kayla's point, absolutely critical that people get out and vote for those positions as well.
How do I find out if I'm on the voters list?
That's a good question, and I recommend you find out as soon as possible. Right now we're in a pre-voters list phase, and the MPAC, Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, are the ones who are holding the data that creates the preliminary list of electors. So what you want to do is you want to go to voterlookup.ca. And this is an online module where you can type in some information and it'll confirm with MPAC's data if you are on the voters list. If you are not, well, on the preliminary list of voters list. If your data is accurate and correct with MPAC. If for some reason it's missing or incorrect, now is a great opportunity to have MPAC correct that data. So once the data is provided to us clerks at the local level, it's accurate and correct. But there is no deadline other than 7:59 on election day to have yourself added to the voters list. Once the data comes to us clerks, us at the local level, and becomes our voters list official, we can continue to add and revise and amend the voters list up until the end of the election. So now is a great time to contact MPAC, voterlookup.ca, to make sure your data is on there. If it's not, you can call them directly or reach out to them to fix it. But we really have until the end of the election to make sure that you're on the voters list.